I do find myself becoming more inspired the more I'm reading, which I don't do often enough. But when I've been reading something, it's like I've got more access to words, and I do find that I write lyrically better when I'm going through a period of reading. Musically, the guitar is it just endlessly inspires me. It's like you can play a chord that you've played 1,000 times before, but on this particular day it sounds different, and it kind of leads to a new song. And all of a sudden, you've started in the morning, and 8 hours have passed, and you're wondering where the time's gone. Um, so yeah, the music itself is the influence. In terms of other artists, um, I grew up on the Beatles and Bob Dylan and David Bowie, and it was mostly my mum's record collection, um, and that was a lot of compilation tapes and some records. My gran gave me this old record player that I used to listen to all the time, so I was always dancing around and listening to things like Rick Astley long before he ever became a meme, and yeah, various 80s stuff and Eurythmics, yeah, and that's the kind of things that I still go to now. I've got a wee tagline on my Instagram bio that says indie songwriter of wee ditties and occasional bangers. But in terms of, it's difficult because you do kind of float around genres, and I feel like I do play an acoustic guitar, I do write songs on an acoustic guitar, and people think, well, that must be like indie folk that you're doing, and I suppose there are elements of that in it, but yeah, I think introspective songwriting, pop melodies, and yeah, not very good elevator pitch, but yeah, do check it out. Yeah, I kind of fell into it by accident. I moved school when I was 10 years old, and the first friend that I made, he was really into music in a way that I wasn't until then. So like I said previously, music was always in the house, but I never thought of it as something that I could do myself. And he was like appointed to me as my buddy at this new school to show me around. He was really into music, and he was really into Oasis, and he asked me to be in a band with him, which I didn't really know what that meant, but because he was at that point the only friend I had in the school, it was a case of yeah, okay, absolutely. But strangely, for a 10-year-old child, he said that you can only be in it if you write songs, which seems really mad for someone to be so switched on to what's important. And I went home that night and wrote my first song, and that was 28 years ago, and I haven't stopped since. I've been writing like all that time. I think if I had any regrets, I wish I had been wiser sooner regarding what is required. I think when you're young, you have this naive idea that you're gonna have your big break. This moment's gonna come along, and it's gonna be so big that it carries you the rest of the way. Not realizing that it's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of discipline. You've got to stay consistent. And I think in my life, certainly from from 16 to about 22, I had a very inconsistent, unstable life. And even after things started to settle in my 20s, it was still quite an unstable life in terms of employment. And realising, it's hard to be consistent in something if you don't actually have those foundations in place. So I think if I could change anything, it would be realising the importance of stability in your life in order to pursue the thing that you love. It's not advice that I've received directly, but I was watching the Gary Neville podcast a few years ago, and Martin O'Neill was on it, and he was asked that question: what's the best advice you've ever had as a manager? I don't remember who he said gave him the advice, but the advice was, if you get the reputation of being an early riser, you can stay in bed all day, which I thought was like absolutely bang on in terms of how people are perceived. Like we were speaking at the start, and you've got a really professional kind of thing going on here, but it doesn't feel professional to you. So I think realising that perception can carry a long way. There's so many, and that would change day by day. I think today I'll say Disco 2000 by Pulp. Um, I think Jarvis Cocker generally he's really good at writing about the personal, but also having these cultural observations as well. And I think that's important in songwriting. It's something that I aim towards with my own songwriting. So today I'll say that, but that will change tomorrow. There's periods that I kind of call a purple patch period, where I'm just generating a lot of new ideas, and it's mostly melody and guitar parts, and it usually lasts for about 2 or 3 weeks, where it's just like lots and lots of ideas that I'm just recording audio clips on my phone, and then once I feel like that kind of inspiration's gone, I'll just sort of put that onto a big massive playlist that I've been adding to for years. And then when I was younger, that used to worry me when that inspiration has gone, because I was like, well, where is it gone? I can't write anything anymore. But now, to keep me ticking over, what I do after that period's over, I'll go into a kind of editorial stage where I'll just listen to this big massive playlist that I've been adding to for years on shuffle, and often things will come up that I've forgotten that I've even written, and that'll be the one that I try to sit down and finish. And that's kind of the way it works for me now. It's purple patch followed by an editorial stage. So I always come up with melody first, over the chord, just singing gibberish, and then that gibberish will start to form words, and then I'm trying to fit the words within the kind of the melodic space, and then hopefully by the end of that you've got a song. Sometimes that can happen within 10 minutes, sometimes a few hours, and sometimes decades. I've still got, I think this song actually, Debt Collectors, the chorus melody comes from an old song that I wrote called Sunshine Silhouettes back when I was in a band called Beautiful by Design in 2010. So yeah, it takes a while to write a song. So this is one of the kind of songs that has been Frankenstein together, because I think I had the initial beat idea, the way it would go, in an old SD card from maybe about 2017. So when I came over it again, I was sitting at a piano, so I was kind of doing the same kind of chords, and it reminded me of this wee clip, and I started to get somewhere with it. I think lyrically, I had the line "miming in the choir." I had that kicking around my head for a very long time, looking for a home, and I eventually found one in Debt Collectors. But I think in terms of what it's about, I would say it's not so much financial debt that I'm talking about. It's like the debt that we accrue as we live our lives in a kind of inauthentic way, through either, because we all kind of perform identities, whether because we're at work or social expectations, friendship groups that we're in. And I think if you do that for long enough, you can find yourself quite far removed from who you are, and that's the debt that I'm referring to, because it's still, the debt collector's still coming to collect, and it can be quite a jarring experience, I think. So it's trying not to be so influenced by cultural expectations. Miming in the choir, I think, is my favourite, because I think it perfectly encapsulates the kind of ethos of the song, and it is a line that I've had for so long. I like the imagery of it, and I was wanting to get it into a song, and it has been in many songs, but it didn't really feel like it was the right home for it. So yeah, "Miming in the Choir," I would say, is my favourite lyric from the song. Lyrics. It's been studio forever, but the more I play live and the more responses, like when I really engage crowds singing your songs back, it's quite a special moment. But yeah, still studio. Sorry, this is quickfire. Studio. Acoustic. Play by ear. 1985 to 1995, which seems to be the period of time that when I'm choosing covers, that's where they come from. So yeah, it must resonate. So yeah, 1985 to 1995. I've got React Fest in West Kintyre. That's the end of this month. And then a few days later, I'll be playing Belgium. So yeah, really looking forward to that.